like try to make sure that before we start recording. I mean, I am recording right now, but I will edit
Oh,
this.
hell yeah. Keep all this in. Keep
Why
this is
not? I
gold.
like keeping it raw. Why not? I think
But
people.
what it won't for some reason it won't let me change. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, talk?
Hello, hello, hello,
Nope, that's not it. Okay, now talk?
hello, hello, hello.
It's the same fucking thing.
Oh no.
I'm just trying to for it to go, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to be able to hear you and that's life. Through I hear myself, but I can't it's not doing you. And I don't know why. Okay, whatever. Here it. This is life.
This is life. This is what we do. We keep it improv, if you will. If I'm
I
talking
love
about
that. I love it. Okay. How are you doing? It has been 20 years.
yeah, I mean, it hasn't been. It has been that long. I'm
It
doing
has been.
well.
It's been 20 years.
Yeah, it was so interesting because we had our 20-year reunion this past weekend.
How'd it
And
go? I didn't get
I,
an invite.
you didn't get an invite.
I
I
also
think
didn't
you're just
graduate from there.
you didn't
I gra-
graduate from.
no, I graduated from the arts high. So I left in 10th grade
Oh,
and I went to the arts high school, which we had ours in July and I did not go.
okay. So,
Yeah.
well, that totally makes sense because my sister's, she actually works in LA for the Oscars. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, so she went to Hopkins through, I believe, ninth grade, and she actually transferred to Purpich Art Academy. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Yeah.
And so she's definitely the artistic type. You two would absolutely hit it off.
Yeah, we went to the same high school. What year did she graduate?
She was a year younger than us.
Oh my God, I was in school with her.
Yeah, she was a film buff.
Oh yeah, she was in media. Oh my
Hmm.
God, did I hang out with her and not even realize it?
Well, I'm definitely gonna mention
Wait,
this
let
to
me
her.
see her photo. Let me see. Let me go to her Instagram and see if I remember her. Yeah, because if she graduated in 2010, no, wait, sorry, 2006. We were 2005.
Correct. Say
Yeah,
2010. I think
we
January
were in
college.
school together. What's her name?
Nicole.
Okay. I think I do remember her. Was she kind of goth?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say now I have to edit that part out because she's gonna be like, "You're such an asshole."
I think she probably scared me. I was like not I was cool, but I wasn't that like the real goth kids who committed because I was like I kind of liked corn at one point. The real
Right.
ones that committed to the lifestyle, I was like, you guys are so intense.
You know what's funny too is like I remember being in like eighth grade and being like, I'm trying to figure out which groups I'm gonna hang out with. I play
Yeah.
sports, I do all these things. It's like let's try something new. And after about a week, I was like, you know what? I think life's just fine doing sports. I think that's the group I need to be with. So.
Which group were you in?
So you remember like Chris Belial, Michael Detman, Jesse Lynn Hoff, Peter Dalby, Eddie Eames, like all like Grant,
Yeah.
like those guys. I mean, I'm still super close with them today.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's like those guys. Like sometimes our mentalities were like still in high school. So it's
You
been
know, I still hang out with Ian Ito and Ernesto Reyes Diaz.
sure. I remember Ernie. He was the man.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is uh, Eric Ito was at the reunion, so I talked to
Oh,
him.
really?
Yeah, so I talked to him for a few minutes. But like, it was shocking the amount of people that actually showed up. I want to say there was 150-ish people there. I
Yeah.
expected it to be like 50 people max, and so
Man, I'm bummed I would have gone had I known. No one would have remembered me. It's fine.
yeah, right. I would have remembered you, that's for sure.
Oh, thank you. I hope my name came up many, many times.
Well, I was chatting with some folks about like my work with Elevant, doing the podcast. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm hopefully getting Jenny Zigrino on here.
Oh,
Um,
I'm so easily, you can get to me so easily.
Yeah. Well, I was very hopeful. I know you probably have a very busy schedule, so I can't thank you enough for
Oh,
squeezing me in
thank
here.
you. Of course. Okay. So I have a couple questions of like, so what is the brand?
So Elevant. So
Yeah.
Elevant is Latin for take flight and rise. So that speaks to our
Okay.
motto, which is rise and go, chase your dreams, never stop. You get one life, you got to chase it.
That is true.
So
Yes.
I am I'm not the original founder of Elevant, but
Okay.
the founder has a brother who moved to Minnesota after college and started playing baseball on the amateur baseball team that I play on. And that's how I got introduced to the brand. It was probably back in like 2014, and I just I fell in love with everything that represented. I loved the logo. I
Yeah.
loved like what he was trying to do to spread like a very positive message. And I started doing like some sales. I like started like a little mini blog, just like interviewing people who I felt like fit the rise and go motto. And over the course of a couple of years, we didn't really have an opportunity to help the brand grow, and so he got into like real estate, doing some like development stuff, and the brand went dormant for, like all the way through COVID. So I was reading some books. I was trying to turn my life around. I kind of got big into like drugs and alcohol. I was gaining weight. I was turning into this person that I didn't even recognize.
Mm-hmm.
And during COVID, it kind of hit me where it's like I need to like really start making some positive life changes, or I'm going to end up like my biological family who were
Yeah.
big alcoholics, drug abusers, and I felt like there was more to life than what I was doing, and so I was reading this book. It was called Shoe Dog. So it's the story of Nike, and it reignited my passion for like Elevant because I see like where Nike started and where they are today. And that's the dream. That's the dream that I have. That I can take Elevant, I can help a lot of people, and with this brand, I think that's the key component is I want to interact with people who kind of have that same mindset, who have that drive, who have that entrepreneurial spirit of, no matter what my challenges are, no matter what's in front of me, I'm going to wake up every single day. I'm going to rise. I'm going to go. And like, that's what our arrow represents is like every day you're going to wake up and chase your dreams.
Yeah. That is the millennial way.
Right? Right?
100%. Okay, hold on. One last second.
All
I'm
right. All good.
almost ready. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, my dinner showed up. That's it.
What'd you get for dinner?
My Thai dinner was at the door, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta get that." So now it's hanging out at the counter.
Well, good. What'd you get? I'm
But
so when
look,
it comes to like Thai, I am like banh mi pho all the way.
okay. Oh, I love pho. I almost got pho. Pho is like my comfort food. No, I just got some drunken noodles, some steamed vegetable, and then I treated myself to a little bit of a in the Midwest we call it cream cheese wontons, but out here they've got some weird name and I'm like, it's cream cheese wontons. So I'm yeah, I mean part of the rise and grind is that you don't have time to go grocery shopping because you've been flying in and out of a million airports and your food goes bad. So you just are like, well, sometimes I just will have to, you know, see Grubhub some Thai food because I ain't got time for the cooking.
Ain't that the truth? You know what's funny is like I need to go grocery shopping so bad right now, but it's like yesterday I was like, it's Sunday, I don't want to go grocery shopping. I
Yeah.
ordered in some Greek gyros, so I was like, can't.
Perfect. I almost got Mediterranean and then I was like there's a Mediterranean that's like up the street from me that is so good, but I'm like I'm so tired. I
Yeah,
was like I have the energy to sit and do like the admin work I have to do, which is like also a big part of being an entrepreneur is like all the
yeah.
admin work. Like today is I think today's the day I buckle down and I'm like I'm going to hire an assistant. Like it's just too much. I think that's also probably a great thing if like for people who are starting out an entrepreneur like know when you can't do everything cuz you will burn out and you burn out hard.
I was just saying you're speaking to my core right now. It's like
Yeah.
I've had some people help me with the brand, but it's I haven't necessarily found like that right person that like believes in the dream and is like willing to put in the work. And I think the biggest thing is I just can't pay people right now. So it's
Well, they're in the Philippines. So
okay.
you want to
So
get
now I know a new route to go here. That's
Look, I people use AI. I'm like, I don't want to do AI. Like, I use AI so sparingly because that I think it is evil, and I know that I think the mentality is like it's a tool. I think it's pure evil. And it hallucinates, and it's also wrong like
Yeah.
all the time. It's wrong all the time. So I'm like, I'm just gonna until the idea is like I can pay someone in the Philippines and budget it out. And then when I do, because of the extra time that I have, either I can start paying them more, like an American wage, or I find someone in the US to employ. So it's like maybe not the best, but you got to do what you got to do to get where you need to be.
Well, let's talk about your life. So you're saying, you're super busy. You're flying all over the place. For our listeners, just kind of give a brief introduction of who you are.
Hi, I'm Jenny Zigrino. I'm a stand-up comedian, an actress. I'm a writer. I've been doing stand-up uh, professionally since my mid 20s. So I've been doing comedy for 17 years. But if we want to count when I actually like first took the class since I was 15, so like what is that? Um Almost 20 years? Over 20 years?
Sure.
I think. Yeah. Um I have been called to this since I was a child. When I was 12, I did a book report that was like, I'm either going to be a stand up comedian or an archaeologist. So we know how that panned out. And I think I've been lucky in that. A lot of people don't know what they want to do with their lives. I always kind of knew that entertainment was it. And I, yeah, I'm a full time professional entertainer and own my own business and I do a lot of things, a lot of things.
So share like some of your successes. I know you've had your own special. You've been in a couple movies.
Mm-hmm.
Talk it up here. Let the people know how cool you actually
I
are.
am cool. Thank you. So I have two Comedy Central specials. The first one is a half hour. The second one I produced with I self-produced it. I had producers, but I self-funded. We raised $30,000 to produce a comedy special, and I ended up selling it to Comedy Central, which was a big deal. So I have that. I have don't tell specials. I have two don't tell specials. I'm currently in the pitching and selling portion of my next special. Um, I've been on television. I've been in movies. I haven't been in a movie since 2019. I would like to change that. So that's, the goal. Um, this year I shot something for don't for um my God, what is it? Dropout TV. So crowd control. And then next week I'm going back to LA to shoot Comics Unleashed, which will be on CBS. So, I get television spots. I'm an actress. I've been in commercials. You may have seen me during Christmas on UPS
Yeah.
for a UPS commercial. Yeah, I'm like a working actress. I also am a screenwriter and, I'm working on some screenplays. Um, and I'm a touring comic and yeah, and I'm passed at the Comedy Cellar, which is a kind of a big deal in my industry.
Hmm.
And I'm bi-coastal. I live both in New York and LA. Um, so yeah, I'm a one-stop shop for funnies.
I
Not
love
right
it.
now.
I love it. It's so funny too because I follow you and like you've got some raunchy comedy and I absolutely
Very.
love that. No filter, and I think
No.
that's something that really resonates for me. I'll give you like a clue in. So like I'm a big fan of Bill Burr. Are you on his team?
Love, love Bill Burr.
Okay, because
I
I was
will
like
I will brag, Bill Burr does follow me. Just gonna
yeah.
say it. I do, and I love Bill.
It's absolutely amazing. Yeah. So like Bill Burr, I love old school comedians. I will watch like Eddie Murphy specials from the '80s, like
Mhm.
Richard Pryor. Like I know Nate Bargatze is starting to really make a big name for himself, and then there's like Andrew Santino. So I
Mhm.
think I really like the ginger comics
You
apparently.
do. You love a redhead.
It's just-
I'm
I'll say
gonna I'm gonna add a couple more in there in case you are already hip to who they are. But
yeah.
Mark Maron is amazing. He actually just ended his podcast, which I think was pretty life changing for a lot of comics. And his new special is fabulous. I highly recommend people listen to it. Um, Minnesota's own Maria Bamford. You've ever heard her?
I haven't, no.
Oh, she is a gem. She talks a lot about mental illness and like embracing yourself and like your, who you truly are is amazing. I'm trying to think of some really good ones that are out right now that I love. Langston Kerman is another great comedian. He's also on television and doing a bunch of stuff. My good friend Joelle Nicole Johnson, she's got a great special. She's very funny. Um, and so your listeners should definitely, we love a big guy, but there are a lot of like smaller names that y'all should be listening to. It's
I
also the
couldn't agree.
algorithm is so different now, right? Like like Bill Burr and Nate got in before all of those before late night stopped existing and before Comedy Central kind of became obsolete. And yeah, there's just like now you got to search. You got to search a little bit, but yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the big things too, where even like up and coming brands, up and coming artists, like it's so hard to make a name for yourself
Yeah.
in this world where it's like, I mean, you got to take on like a whole new definition of hustle, and
Mhm.
I think that's the where I wanted to chat with you about, what was your, like you're up and coming, moving into the comedy world. Like, what was that like? Kind of give us a background of, where you started and like some of the challenges that you faced.
Yes, let me just adjust this cuz I'm kind of going a little nuts that the microphone is in focus, but I'm not, and that's bullshit. Okay, now I feel a little better.
You're good.
As someone who's constantly thinking about their image, I'm like, I have to think about my image. I did not wear makeup, but all natural. Um, so I think that my path is so different than the path someone looking to do what I do now would be. Um, it is all the same. Like the hard work is the same. Like you have to get funny. I think humor can be honed. Some people do just have it. Like I think the great thing that you can do now is you can really find stuff that you're good at, and if you're not good at it, stop.
That's good advice.
And here's my advice to that because the sooner you stop, the closer you'll get to what is actually meant for you, right? So it's like when you're dating and if the person's not right for you, the sooner you reject them or break up with them, the closer you'll be to the right person, right? Instead of kind of, wasting your time because you're like, oh, but I want whatever. There's so many avenues that people can go in. So don't lose hope, but, listen to your inner dialogue on that and where it should go. Um yeah, the it is a lot different now because we have to find our audiences versus someone shows up and says, I want to promote you on Comedy Central or on Netflix or whatever it is, right? It used to be that like you were hustling in the comedy rooms, getting good. You didn't have to worry about putting out content every day. You could kind of focus on the art. And now, whether or not it's to our detriment, it is now about putting out content and becoming a content machine and becoming your own production house. Um, but the upside to that is that you don't have to wait for anyone to come find you, right? Like you don't have to wait for. I actually just did this talk to some comics when I was in Denver because I was mentoring some of them. But it's like you don't have to wait for someone to discover you anymore, but you have to put in the same amount of work that a production company with millions of dollars behind it and 100,000 employees used to do. You now have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, is that better? I don't know.
I don't know either, but I feel like you said, when it comes to like content, it's like you have to diversify yourself. Like you can't. I don't
Yes.
feel like putting out like the same stuff over and over again is. I don't know if that's what I'm trying to get at, but like for Elevance, it's like, well, I do like workout reels, I do
Mhm.
podcasts, I will. do golf videos or like it's basically my own life. And then I try
Yeah.
to like bring in others as well that are like living the rise and go life. So like whenever someone like buys a piece of apparel, I'm like, take a picture, like show what you're doing in your life that shows that you're rising and going, so that I can share that with the audience, because it's like I
Yeah.
don't want Elevant to be like strictly about me and my life. And I think it's literally like it's a movement that I'm trying to create where I want others to feel and resonate with Rise and Go, and it's like I want to see
Yeah.
that every single day.
Well,
But
can I counter that a little bit?
absolutely.
Okay. So this was great advice that was given to me in acting class is you play the part that you are typecast to play until you get so good at it that everyone lets you play something else. It really is dependent on your audience. So it's like if your great thing is workout videos, or if your thing that hits, like I have these alien videos that I do. Um and it gets a good response. So it's like do that. Get the audience that loves what you're doing, and so then when you pivot to something else or to here's another aspect of my life, you already have the kind of core fan base that is so into whatever you are that got them in there that they're like, well, yeah, of course my favorite creator is going to also start a cookbook, or, like, yeah, like you're a workout influencer. It's like maybe you also are like, okay, I'm a workout influencer, but I also really love, woodworking, my own snowboards. I don't know, but it's like, it's still you. It's still very authentically you. But for so long were the guy that did the workout videos that you have gotten the audience that now you can kind of, gather up and take where you need it to go. I think there is something to showing your niche first and then moving into a more authentic, holistic image of who you are. So, like, I talk a lot about dating. I talk a lot about sex. I talk a lot about being a woman and feminism and stuff like that. And that's great. And now I've got this really good core fan base of people that like me. Now moving into talking about way different things, but they're gonna come with me because
Hmm.
I've worked so hard with the things that they expected of me that now they're like, okay, we can go to this next place.
For sure. And I think that's another area too where it's like showing my life in and everything. It's like because I do Elevon, I have a
Yeah.
sales job, I play baseball, I coach baseball, and I think sharing more of my life is probably some really good advice. Because again, it's like you said, it's like I am the owner of this. It's like I
People
should
want
show
to
people.
follow you. They love your brand, but they want to follow you. They want to know what's going on with you, fun things are happening for you because they're interested in the influencer and what is the influencer going to do for me.
Mm-hmm.
The brand is the brand and what the brand does, but we're not sitting here following Cheerios.
Right.
We don't you and I don't follow General Mills. We follow the I'm trying to think of what's someone who is okay, I hate her. Kylie Jenner. You didn't care so much about her makeup, but you followed Kylie and then she sold you the makeup.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I feel you. So let's go back to I want to learn more about like your first time on stage. What was that feeling like?
Um, so the first time I did it, I was 15 and it was okay, you remember the DoubleTree that's in Bloomington on between 100 and 494?
Yeah, I drive by it all the time on the way.
Yeah, so they had a like a bar, and our comedy class had its show, and my dad's friend's wife, who was a huge alcoholic, unfortunately it did take her life, bless her soul, but she was drunk, showed up wasted to the show and got me a corsage. So,
Nice.
and she was so drunk and she was like, you have to wear it, and I was like, I have to wear this corsage. So my first time on stage, well, also she was heckling everyone, which was also really bad. My first time on stage, I did great. The people I brought were really disruptive, and I had a giant corsage on. Like, It couldn't have been more of like a 15-year-old doing stand up kind of vibe in there. And also, too, everything I did was clean, which I do not do now.
Yeah, I would say there's a little bit of a change there.
You had to, because there was no way anyone would listen to a 15-year-old girl talking about anything dirty.
Yeah.
So I had to be clean. But now,
Yeah, I would say,
I'm
but now it's
disgusting.
well, and that's where it's like, who are like your influencers of like your comedy? Like who are your like big comedians that really shaped who you are?
The first two are embarrassing, okay? And I'm gonna say that with my chest. They're embarrassing. But at the time, they were innovative and wonderful, and we all loved them, okay? And don't even think that you didn't. Dane Cook,
Okay.
like early Dane Cook. Like I have Dane Cook's first album that he self-produced and self-released. I loved him because he was so theatrical.
Hmm.
Like, I think the 80s was a lot of comedy of either people yelling at you or like one-liners. Um, but one thing that I thought was so cool about Dane is that he was like big and bold and moving around and like theatrical and doing characters. Um, and so I remember seeing Dane Cook's, and look, even if Dane hears this, I still really like Dane Cook. Can't even say it. I don't listen to Dane Cook now, but I respected Dane Cook. You know, Dane's a fine person. He's fine. Our parents lived in the same apartment building, so in
Really?
Boston, very very close ties. Um, but also like I watched a lot of Monty Python, a lot of Comedy Central, early Comedy Central when it was like early Sarah Silverman and Jon Stewart and Paula Poundstone and Bobcat Goldthwait and I'm trying to think who else was like Kids in the Hall was like a huge thing. So I just like grew up on that stuff on like kind of the more weird um Janine Garofalo, your alt comedy and yeah, just like just like the weird I liked the weird stuff. And so when I started doing stand up, I was really trying to be like this kind of big theatrical weirdo. And that wasn't really my voice, but it was enough of my voice that I like kind of coasted for a bit. And then, now I'm pretty in my voice. It did take like 10 years.
Well, anything worth doing is going to take time. That's the way I've always seen it. What would you say was like your big break?
I don't believe in a big break. Because I thought I had a bunch and I didn't. So I think what I thought was my big break was 2016. I had two movies come out and I was in JFL and I was like, this is it. I get to coast now.
Yeah.
I'm famous. Everyone's going to know me. And then I showed up to bat and wasn't ready. I didn't have the scripts written. I didn't have the work ethic. I went for I thought short term. Thought a lot about how to get money now versus like I was making enough to just live fine. Like my rent was $1,100 a month to live by myself in LA. And like I had a car. Like I had a fine life, but I was just so like in scarcity mode of like I'm not gonna have enough. I'm not gonna enough. And when I had those chances where I was making enough money but could have had downtime to like really write scripts and take acting classes and do all that stuff, I didn't do it. So when the time come of like what was my make it moment, I wasn't ready.
Sure.
And all the people that you think make it or like overnight, they've been doing it for years. Like Jessica Kirson is a great example. You know who she is?
I don't know.
So she kind of runs with like Bill Burr and like Legion of Skanks and like kind of she's like more like your rough and tumble, Jewish lesbian comedian. Um
On second thought, I'll bet you I do know who she is
she does
because
a lot of crowd work and kind of insults people a little bit.
yeah, Yeah, I know
And
exactly.
she blew up a few years ago, but I remember going on the road and doing colleges with her. Like going to this thing called NACA, the National Association of College Activities, and she was there. Like she was a road college dog. And then she like blew up because I burped from all that Diet Coke.
Well,
I don't
and
have any coffee in the house because I don't have any. I didn't go grocery shopping. All I had is like a Diet Coke. I need caffeine so bad. But yeah, it. She didn't pop off till like way over doing this for 10 years. So it really is like such a thing of like you just have to keep doing it, and little things keep building till where you're like, oh, I may not have like that thing that's just like the thing that catapulted me into success, but I have such a great roster of things I've done that your average person can never understand or accomplish. I'm better than everyone. I don't think you understand.
yeah,
That's
no,
what I mean.
I
I'm
love
better than
that.
everyone.
I absolutely love that mindset. It's like that's the same way like I applied like in like baseball to this day when I'm playing amateur baseball. It's like I'm
Yeah.
38 years old. I'm playing against kids that are in college. I'm still like I'm way better than you guys. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's like I mean I don't look at it as being like selfish or like self-absorbed. It's like I need this mentality to function. Like you don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's why it's like I go to the gym so often. It's like I put down alcohol and drugs, and it's like I need to do this, and it's like I see how it affects others. Like there was
Mhm.
someone at our reunion that was just like it's like listen, man, it's like I see where you're at in life, but it's like you're making a scene here, and it's like
Oh my god, who was spill the tea? You can cut it
I can't be
out.
saying this on
You
here.
can cut it out.
Okay, so I will tell you. So does that ring a bell?
Kinda, a little bit.
You were north, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he went to West, and it's like I have nothing against him, but it's like you're seeing people that you haven't seen in a long time, and
Yeah.
it's like you show up and you're heavily intoxicated, you're interrupting people's conversations. It's
Oh my
like
god.
I know, and
Okay,
it's
so I'm sober. I don't drink. I smoke weed, but I'm California sober. And I like I'll 100% recommend to all of your listeners like quit drinking alcohol. Just like stop. I don't care if you're like I just have like one like it is like no one feels good the next day. You're going to do something dumb. You will say something dumb, which is like this person was at a gathering with all these people that could have, I don't know what their business is, but it could have been a good networking opportunity. It could have been a good, like, oh, I saw this person from high school and then I thought of you and this job, like all this stuff, but you were shit faced and you said a dumb thing, right? Like, it's just like, don't just quit. Just get used to like socializing with your whole ass self. Okay, you don't need a lubricant to make things better. Just like you know know that the world doesn't revolve around you. Like no one really cares that much about you. Just start asking questions to people, and that is how you become the fucking life of the party, not because you had 8 tequila and whiskeys. Anyways, there's my soapbox.
I appreciate it, and I think it's good advice for everyone because so I had a podcast a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is Brett Emmer. He's the CEO of like this +3 golf organization. They put a heavy focus around mental health for athletes, and he was talking about how like drugs and alcohol led him down a very scary path, and like he survived a suicide attempt. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's I recognize it from my own path as like God, like it was shocking how much like I remember one time I went like I think it was like 97 days in a row drinking to get drunk.
Wow.
And I was proud of that at that time. And I look back on it now and I'm just like, what is wrong with me? But
Yeah.
it's not about where you were, it's where you're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing is like I hope people that, are struggling in that sense, like have the foresight to think it's like, hey, I can change my life today with one
Mm-hmm.
decision. And that's so easy. And it's like, God, I think about drinking and it's like I wake up, I feel like shit, like you said. It's like I sleep
Mm-hmm.
terrible. I don't go to the gym. I feel all foggy at work and when I'm doing everything else. And again, I appreciate you getting on your soapbox because I think it's so important for people to hear. It's like, hey, you want to be successful in life. It's like alcohol is not the right path to go down, especially
Yeah.
if you're trying to, make a name for yourself or trying to be in an industry like, a clothing brand or workout videos or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I love it. I love that you're unfiltered. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I
Well,
did. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of this podcaster. But we all know and love him, Andrew Huberman. But he did have one on alcohol that I was like, this is so good. He just was like, it's never good. None of it's good. One drink a week, it's just not. And like if you do care about keeping your mind clear at all times and like, really being at your sharpest, then it's just like, okay, that's just the person who you want to be doesn't do that. And that's one thing that I've like am trying so hard now to do is the best self version of me doesn't do those things. Doesn't, go to bed at 2 in the morning. I did yesterday because flights, whatever. But like, there are certain habits that like, if you're going to be at your best self, you have to just be like that. Oh, that version of me doesn't do that. So I'm going to be that version of me. I feel like that's the easiest way to see that. Maybe not. Maybe I'm being, just a little bit of a dreamer over here.
well, I feel like we share the same sentiment in that way, where it's like I recognize it's not really for me, and
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think like someone has to be completely sober, but it's like I even look at the high school reunion. Like I had like 2 or 3 beers, and then I was like, but like that old me crept up again, where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I want to go out, I want to go have a couple of tequilas, I want to go to a different bar, and it's like from where I come to where I'm at now, I was like, no, just take your ass home, just take your
Yeah.
ass home, go to sleep, and I was so glad that I did because it's like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, thank God that I didn't go
Yeah.
out and do something stupid.
Yeah.
But
Ain't nothing wrong with being a sleepy little baby.
I was gonna say I'm 38 now. It's
Yeah,
like
we're sleepy babies.
nice. So you mentioned that you've been in a couple of movies. What movies have you been in?
The latest thing I did was I was in a movie called Too Late, which was a horror comedy, like a little indie horror. I was in Bad Santa 2, and then I was in another movie that I don't love to mention. But I was in 50 Shades of Black.
Sure.
Um, that, it's so funny. I actually had a dream with Marlon Wayans the other day. But it's a Wayans movie. But yeah, I've also like I was a film major, so like I've been on sets before. I've done more TV than your average person, which means
Yeah.
I've done TV. Um, yeah, the latest thing I did was the Crowd Control, and then last year I did After Midnight. Um, but also too, media is changing. Like TV doesn't really matter that much anymore. It's really like podcasts and YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
That's the other landscape is like everything is just changing. So it's like you spend a lot of time hustling for one thing and then it very quickly shifts,
Yeah.
which is really hard to deal with.
I can't even imagine. So so you've been around some very famous actors on sets. Like, what is that feeling like when you think about like where you came from and now it's like you're with some of the biggest stars in Hollywood. Like, what does that feel like?
It felt pretty cool. Also, too, as a stand up, I will say that it gives you a different level of respect because a lot of these actors can't do stand up. They can't tell a joke for their life. Like, they can really get to the depths of their souls to, like, find a character. But if you were like, hey, get on stage and like do 5 minutes, they can't do it. And they respect comedians. So it gave me an edge, which was great. And it also stand up is great because you don't need permission to do it. You just need a stage.
Hmm.
So I can call a club and rent out the space, but it's like for acting, you need to audition, you need someone to tell you that you're good enough to do the thing versus like stand up and that's why I understand like why YouTube blew up and all this stuff is like you don't want to be told what you can and can't do. People want to do what they want to do. And so if you want to do stand up or if you want to do sketches, Why wait for Lauren Michaels to tap you on the shoulder and say, okay, come on, you're an SNL now?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I love that too because it's like I mean all you need is a stage and a microphone and the cojones to
Mhm.
actually go up there.
Yeah.
Um, no, that's so cool, and I think I didn't think about it from that perspective where it's like as an actor, it's like yeah, you have to audition. Like someone has to tell you that you're good enough to do it.
Yeah.
Where it's like you can go out and like I hear Bill Burr talk about this all the time, where he's just like, yeah, I've bombed a million times. He's still
Yeah.
bombed with how popular he is today,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that's another thing where it's like, hey, it's like you just have to get up and keep doing it. I think like that's where like the rise and go mentality like really fits here is like, yeah, you can have one bad day, but that's not going to deter you from getting up and doing it again and
Yeah.
chasing that ultimate dream.
I mean, I've seen Chris Rock eat shit, like complete shit to the where it got written up the next day. Like it was so bad, it got written up in like, a little a little article thing. And it was so bad. It was I mean, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Why did you
Well, it's
say those things?
well,
But
and that's
good for him. He did it. He went.
yeah. What's the worst thing that can happen? People will laugh at you and they forget about it literally the next day.
He has
Well,
so much
maybe not
money.
in Chris
Why
Rock's
does he
case,
care?
right?
He's so rich. Who gives a shit?
Right,
But
like
yeah, like I have a friend who is very successful. She gets stopped. Like we'll hang out and she gets stopped and asked for autographs all the time. She still auditions. She still gets no. And I'm like, I don't understand how you get no, but like she still hears no. She still has to audition. She still gets told she's not the right part for the dumbest shit. Like, because her hair is weird or whatever it is. But she keeps going and she's and I wouldn't say she's an older woman, but like in Hollywood terms, okay, which is by Hollywood terms, I'm dead. So but like she's working and she loves the craft and loves what she does. And like, it's, I think it's just a longevity thing. I think, and that's the same with like kind of any entrepreneurship that you're doing or goal is like, it's longevity. Like anyone who did it overnight, they go insane. And
mhm.
like, if really people who are like spotted overnight, like remember how many of those people during COVID or whatever, like what the fuck happened to Hawk Tuah girl? She got into like a crypto scam. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, do the long haul so that when it does show up, like if the stuff that happened in 2016 showed up for me now, oh my God, I'd fucking be flying. You know what I mean? So now it's a little bit of a harder sell for me in some ways. And I'm also like pivoting in other ways because there's just part of the aspects of the job that like I don't want to be on the road. I want to have kids. And then to find kids, you have to stay home so you can like find a partner. So it's like all that stuff isn't conducive to the old life I lived. How can I change it for the new life? You know?
sure. No, and that totally makes sense because I was gonna say I want to end the podcast with like what are your goals and aspirations going forward,
Yeah.
but I want to ask a couple of user submitted or listener submitted questions for
Love
you.
it.
So this one comes from Erin, my fiance,
Ooh,
and so
okay.
she asked, "What is one joke you wish you wrote?"
Oh man. So on Mark Maron's new special, I had been writing this bit about just so I'm just gonna say everyone clear. I'm a very lefty liberal lady, okay? I have MAGA in my family, so I understand. But I'm a pretty lefty liberal lady. A lot of stuff going on in comedy. I am for I'm all for free speech, but I'm also for you understanding there's consequences to your free speech, to what you're saying. So when they do happen, don't be a bitch about it and then try to destroy democracy, which happened. So that's kind of where we are. And Mark Maron has this great bit about it, about how, we all kind of basically sold democracy upstream so that some dudes could say, the R word. I'm not going to say it. Sometimes I say it in my private life, but
I
you know
respect it.
what? I'm here to be respectful. Okay. If it's in a song, I'm going to sing it. But I was writing a bit like that where I was like, as a woman, in this modern age, I can feel a lot of like the rights my parents got to enjoy, I don't get to enjoy, so that like a couple of dudes could, say those words on stage and get high-fived and grab titties. Like, but the way that Mark does it is so eloquent and so wonderful, and he's so good at like at kind of shitting on both sides in like that elder way that I think younger generations were always like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm like, oh no, he knows what he's talking about. Like liberals, we have annoyed people into fascism. Like that's a core part of one of his bits. And it's so good. It's like, yeah, we're our little purity politics. We've annoyed people into fascism. And then the other side, if you make fun of the king, you get your television show canceled. So who's right? Nobody. No one's right. So that's the one. I wish that I had gotten my bit out before Mark, but Mark wins.
I love it. I love it. All right, next one is what's one joke you love but nobody ever laughs at?
Oh, I mean, I talk about the founding fathers right now. Like I'm talking a lot about American history. So that's kind of the pivot I'm doing is like I feel like I've talked a lot about myself and now I'm like getting more political and talking more about like the origins of the country and how that kind of relates to now. And I'm talking about it and I love it and no one cares. I'm glowing. I'm on stage. I'm like, you guys, Alexander Hamilton was bisexual and no one cares. And I mean, if you look on my social media, I got costumes. I am like starting to do this whole series on like the how weird and flawed the founding fathers were, which I think is really interesting because their mythos is so like they're unflappable, they're perfect. Oh, they all fought for freedom. It's like no, like the one of the reasons why the revolution happened is because England was like you can't expand westward anymore, and colonists be colonizing, and we're like now we want to we're gonna keep going west. So it's like that stuff to me is so funny and interesting. And it's maybe not like ha 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 funny, but it's like, NPR funny.
I like it. I mean, you got a laugh out of me there, so
Great.
I keep using it. Keep
Alexander
using it.
Hamilton was bisexual, just so everybody knows. You can read his love letters to John Lawrence in the National Archive. Him talking about his dick is in the National Archive. I think that's so funny.
I would say I
No one
know
else
what I'm going
cares.
to be researching later. Now
Oh,
that's
I've researched it. I've researched a lot.
all right. Next one is as a comedian, do you write everything down or do ideas come out more on stage?
I think it's a mix. I got some bits that are from crowd work. Um, or like I have an idea and I like kind of just say it. That, as I've gotten older, I think like just in general, my memory is not the best anymore. Um, so I like to write stuff down and I like to write it down because words matter, how they sound, and the economy of them matter. And I'm just a person that like I need to write stuff out. I need to work it out. I talk, like I'll pace around the room and I'll talk. And if it makes me like if I get a little like electricity in me, I'm like, okay, I'm on to something now.
Sure. I
Yeah.
love that. Love that. All right. Last question I got here. Um, So Dylan here asks, I'd love to understand how Jenny decided on devoting her time to trying to be in comedic content versus trying to write comedic content for herself.
What?
Did that make sense?
uh say that again.
So he said, I'd love to understand how Jenny decided on devoting her time to trying to be in comedic content versus trying to write comedic content for herself.
To try to be in comedic content.
I'm guessing that's what he meant.
Like how to be like cuz I don't understand cuz I am writing all the content I write myself.
That's like
All the content I write for me and I do it for myself or I'm like on a podcast or I'm on a TV show. So I'm a
sure.
little confused.
Well,
Um
maybe we'll have to come back to that one. Dylan's one of my coworkers, so
Dylan, what the fuck are
you
you
don't get
talking about?
to All right, so all right, we'll skip to this next one.
Okay.
So he said, I feel like there has to be a lot of pros and cons to being a comedy group or improv group. Uh, so I think this is like for like anyone who's like aspiring to be a comedian. So like, what are the pros and cons to like being in a comedy group or an improv group?
Oh, okay. I think everyone should take improv, even stand-ups. Like there's like always been a rivalry between stand-ups and improvisers. They're more socially like better than we are, and they fuck more, I'm sure. But that's also the problem is they do fuck a lot. They're pretty incestuous to like, improvisers. They're theater kids. They're theater kids that got together and are like, now we're funny, and then they
Yeah,
just bang each other. That's been my experience. That's not true, but I think this is some good advice I got from a comedian. Was like, hang out with funny people. Don't hang out with nice people. Like, nice people are great. I have very nice people in my life. But the more funny people I hang out with, the better I'm going to get at what I want to do. And then we keep, going back and forth on like riffing and helping each other out with bits, and like you want to be around other funny people as much as possible. That's not to say that like you should be around rapists or like abusers, because I know some comics who are both of those things. Find the funny ones that you will enjoy being around. But yeah, like being around other funny people is just going to make you a better funny person, right? Like you can't exist funny on an island. One of my best jokes that I have right now, the punchline was written by someone else. Like I was just talking it out with a friend who's hilarious, and he said this aside, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's it!" Like that cracked the code on the joke. So when you're with those people, it's nothing but helpful. Um, and gets you out of the house. Like get off your phone, go talk to people.
couldn't agree more. Well, and I think that's something I've noticed too when because I do look at a lot of like comedy and it's like I love in podcasts where it's like they're you can tell they're improving, they're just bullshitting the whole time, and
Yeah,
it's like that stuff is so funny because like they'll be like kind of mean to each other, but I
yeah.
feel like
You like the
I mean
Best Friends podcast, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's Andrew Santino and who's the Asian guy?
I always forget his name.
I forgot his name too, but I mean that guy. They do like the he does like the Asian voice. He's like, oh, this is
Wow,
Buffalo.
we should know it. I've worked with him so many
Bobby,
times. I should know his
Bobby
name. Do you want to hear? You want to hear? No, I have nowhere to be, so I
well,
can,
absolutely.
I can make up with for telling you the Bobby Lee story, and I can make up with another story you can actually put on.
Well, let's do it. Let's hear it.
No, no, you asked me a question.
Oh, I have to ask you a question. Oh no, I'm all out of questions. Um,
Let's go back to what Dylan said. What? What
yeah,
was that
what was he
question?
talking about? So okay, I'd love to understand how she decided on devoting her time to trying to be in comedic content versus trying to write comedic content for herself. So I'm guessing like how much time do you spend
I
like on
think
the
he's
content
insulting
side
me.
versus like writing like your material for like stand up?
Yeah, but I think he's low key insulting me.
I'll ask him.
Ah,
You're gonna have to give me so my fiance.
Dylan, what are you doing? Okay. Um, I I still have no idea how to answer that question.
So because the way I think about it, so like think of it like writing your material versus
Yes.
like doing content like on like social media. So like
But I mean, but all of the everything I do, I create and write. I mean, okay, does it written mean I have to write it down, or if I thought of it and then said it, does that count?
oh boy.
You gotta ask Dylan. Oh, you froze. Okay.
And as I say, I have to make sure you have a stable internet. It's probably because my fiance just got home, so like now her phone's connecting.
Ugh,
It's like drives me nuts. So she might pop
there.
in. So she'll have I'll
Tell
have
her I
her.
said hi.
I
Say
will.
hello.
So like
Um,
I don't. You talk it out. I
look,
that's all I got. I don't
Dylan,
know. Yeah, talk to Dylan on here. Tell him.
Dylan, here's the deal. everything, every bit of content that comes from Jenny Zigrino, I've written. Okay, unless I'm partnering with someone, like I'm doing a sketch with someone. Um, everything you're seeing is me. Okay, Dill baby. So there is no difference. I am the content creator. I'm the creator of the content.
That's
So
something you do. I love
there
it.
you go. Unless, and if someone wants to hire me to act, I'll do that.
Well, maybe Dylan will have to hire you to act out some content for him, so we can actually figure
I
out what
know.
he
Well,
what he's
that sounds like he has to go to my OnlyFans if he wants me to act out some
Oh,
content for
I cannot wait for him to listen to this podcast. I cannot wait. You know what's funny is I've only been at my job now for like 5 months.
him. Yeah.
So like, this guy's kind of a new like person in my life. So he's gonna be like,
Oh,
it's
okay.
gonna be great. No, we
Okay.
get along famously. He's gonna absolutely love it. Or he's never gonna talk to me again. But he sits right next to me, so it's either gonna be a really fun next couple of months or really awkward.
Yeah, I think Dylan's a contrarian. I don't know. Is Dylan single?
No, he actually just got engaged. So
Oh, well, then I don't like him.
oh,
Fuck Dylan.
he might have had a chance here. He might have
You
had a
could have had
chance.
a chance, Dylan, but
Oh
you
man.
asked a weird question.
Yeah. Well, it's like good thing I have to edit out the what we talked about earlier in the hairy nips because that might have been.
No, that's how I get them. Okay, that's
Oh,
how I
oh
catch them. It's a
that might.
net.
Mm, I
Yeah.
okay. That is good to know. Well, hey, I was
Uh,
gonna say, can you share with our listeners where they can find social media and everything on you?
yes. So I'm at Jenny Zigrino on Instagram and Threads. I don't use Twitter. If you see me on Twitter, it is a false account, which would be weird. I don't know why someone would do that. On TikTok, I'm Jenny Zigrino Comedy. And you can see all my tour dates at jennyzigrino.com. I did just book, we'll be at Sisyphus Brewery at the middle of February. So, like February 20th or something. I'll be at Sisyphus in Minneapolis.
I was gonna say,
Um,
where is that?
yeah, Minneapolis. Keeping it Minnesota.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm touring all over. I'm touring a new show called Afterbirth, which is about starting your life over after loss. I know it doesn't sound funny, but it is. So
You want to know a show that I absolutely love is
what?
Shrinking.
I haven't seen it. You like it?
Oh, highly recommend. It's so good.
Okay.
It's Harrison Ford steals the show, and
Ugh, okay.
it's on a very like sensitive subject with people that are going to therapy for like mental
Yeah.
health issues, and I love like content, television, anything that really dives into really hard subjects with a comedic tone to it. Because I
Hmm.
feel like comedy is the ultimate healing platform. Because it's like if you can make someone laugh, you can
Yeah.
change their whole day. You know?
Yeah. Another one again. I kind of can't sing Mark Maron's praises enough, but he had a great special a few years ago after his partner died. So I highly recommend if you're going through grief, his special is really great. I think it's from dark to bleak is what it's called. Um, but yeah, there's Patton Oswalt has a great special on grief. My sister passed away a few years ago from a drug overdose. I'm pretty open about it. I talk about it. Also I went through a huge breakup. Like I moved across the country after all this grief kind of piled up, and so it's about starting your life over and going after things you want when it doesn't work out how you thought it was going to work out. So,
I feel that. I lost both of my parents before I was 23 years old. So
oh,
when like grief is such a interesting emotion because you
hmm,
never know when it's going to strike. You never know how long it's going to stick around for.
yeah, it just shows up.
It does, but I know that that's part of the reason why I went down the path that I did with drugs and alcohol. It's like I felt like a lost little boy in this
Yeah,
world without any direction, and that's another reason why like couldn't be more thankful that Elevon came into my life and that I'm still on this path because this is what keeps me sane. I think half the
yeah,
time.
that's
And
great.
yeah, I'm glad that you shared that too because I think it's important for people to know. It's like if you're in grief or if you have mental health or if you're struggling, it's like you're not alone. We're
You're
just
not. And I like to end the special when I do it live is like if you are struggling with drugs or an alcohol, like get help. Someone will miss you if you are gone. Like someone will dearly miss you. I know it feels like no one will, but people will. And people do love you. And the best thing you can do for yourself is get help and yeah, and say yes. Try to say yes to as much in life as you can cuz it is shorter than you think.
that's
You
what I
think?
said. It's one life, you got to chase it, man.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Unless
Well,
you're
Jenny,
Buddhist, then you'll come back, which is fine. But
yeah, right?
yeah.
I can't thank you enough for joining the podcast today.
Thanks for
This was
having
so
me.
great, so awesome to like see you again after all these years, and
Aw.
I couldn't be happier for you with your success and where you're going. It brings me a lot of joy to see someone that I went to school with, I didn't graduate with, but to see what you're doing, it inspires me every day. So
Oh,
let's
thank
keep
you.
rising and going, and I will definitely have to make it to your show when you come to
Yeah.
Minneapolis.
Let me know. I appreciate you putting stuff like this out to, help other people. That's the best thing in life is to be in service. To like that is how you know you're on the right path is when you're in service to others,
All
which is
right.
also an AA thing, right?
Right. Hi, my name's Michael, and I'm an alcoholic. No, that's great. Well, hey, I'll we'll chat here. I'll give you all the details on when everything's going to get released. But this was a ton of fun, and yeah, we'll stay in touch for sure.
For sure. Yeah. If you come to New York, I mean, I come to Minneapolis every once in a while. I still got all my fams there. So if y'all are in New York City, I'm in Queens. I'm very close to all the shit.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
My fiance has a really close friend who lives in New York. Maybe she's trying to connect you. She just went through a divorce, so
Ooh.
yeah. I was just saying this could be a new really good friend of yours. She,
I
like
love I love
you
divorce
would
lady
absolutely.
energy. Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll say we'll chat soon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
thank you so much, dude. I'll talk to you later. It's okay that I leave now.